Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another stream video thing. Right, so today's quite interesting, honestly. Reason being, I can't really tell, this unit just seems pretty crazy. Like, this unit has a hell of a lot going for it, and I am quite interested in this unit because we don't get these types of support units that often, and she just looked pretty ridiculous. And it's kind of difficult to skip this unit considering it's probably the best unit in the game now. So it just looked pretty interesting to me. So before we get into it, like always, talk about the unit and stuff very soon. We'll have a look at the news first of all. I was going to make a video last week or something, but I'm still trying to get over this cold flu thing, which is terrible, so I didn't have any energy to do it. I was going to talk about the UR gachas because they were pretty damn good. They were actually amazing. You could get 5 UR arcs for 4,500 paid crystals. Those types of banners were pretty crazy. So I was going to do a video on that, but I just couldn't get around to it. But let's get right into this. First of all, let's have a look at the news and just check everything in this update. So we have a new event, which is, I think it's a continuation of an event that we had before. It's to do with the Great War Ruin battle story thing. It's an event that does have some nice story to it, so I do like this event. I have farmed it already. I'm hoping there's some good materials in there, which there have been so far. It just seems like a pretty nice one. And I'm assuming we probably see how Spirit Maiden Sera gets her powers and stuff in that event. So if you're interested in that, definitely make sure to do the story because it seems like it's going to be pretty fun. I do like those types of stories, kind of like backstory. Descent of Heroes, first of all, one new UR 10 spin gacha. This one's interesting. I do definitely want to have a look at that soon. World raids. So the world raids, I like the world raids. I thought they were interesting. It's ended now, but it released last week, and it was, it was pretty fun. I kind of like the idea, and I think they're definitely going to do more of those. And I just like world raids. They just seem pretty fun. Yeah, all of these banners here. So these 3 banners, I did actually summon on all of these banners because they're pretty damn strong and pretty crazy. Like I said, I was going to do a video on it, I just couldn't because I wasn't well enough to do a video. But if you have paid crystals, or if you can get paid crystals, these banners are pretty insane. Especially this one. This is crazy. Because all slots are a UR arc guaranteed. For 4,500 paid crystals, you can do it twice. It's pretty crazy. That's only if you don't have that many URs like I do. I don't have that many, so these are pretty good. Yeah, and the sweet and bitter step-up gachas, I did actually do the sweet step-up gacha because there's actually some really good units in here, like limited units, so that was pretty nice. Just have a quick look at this. Spirit Maiden Sera. So if you don't know, in this game, usually, well, pretty much all the time, Spirit Maidens are very strong, right? Like, Spirit Maidens are kind of the strongest types of units in the game. The only ever Spirit Maiden unit that we have had was Spirit Maiden Sera, and she's a incredibly old unit. She's been around for many years, but she's still quite strong because she's a support unit, and she's still used now, and she's still pretty damn good. There are other support units that can be better than her now, but the fact that it's been so many years and she's still a solid unit is pretty crazy. And now we've got a second Spirit Maiden unit in this game, which is Sera. And as you know, Sera in story terms is pretty crazy in the story. Like, she's got a lot of power, she's pretty crazy. So Spirit Maiden form of Sera just seems like it's going to be pretty ridiculous, and it is. It's pretty crazy, and we'll talk about that very soon. Same thing with this UR arc. Talk about that in a moment. The event, unit test, play quest, beast mayhem, banners. Sure, I do want to have a look at this. This is an interesting banner. Promo updates. You can get the some skins for Sera, which is nice if you care about those at all. So there's not too much in this update, right? It's mostly the event itself and Spirit Maiden Sera being the new broken overpowered unit, right? So there's not that much exciting things going on, I guess you could say, but I do like this event. It's got a world map to it and it's got some story to it, so I like this event. And the unit just seems like it's going to be just broken, crazy, which we'll have a look at right now. So not much today, really. Most of the events that have been going on over the past 2 weeks have been pretty fun. I think they've been pretty good. There's probably going to be another collab coming up eventually, and anniversary in April as well. So we do definitely have some things to look forward to that are coming up quite soon. But Spirit Maiden Sera, let's just have a look at this now because it just seems pretty crazy. So we do have a couple of banners going on right now. Spirit Maiden Sera's banner, we still got Moana's banner. Honestly, Moana, she's pretty cool, right? I think she was definitely a pretty good unit for the raid bosses. The last raid boss that we had, she was pretty good for that, I think, because she was light and the boss was a dragon, so this form of Moana was pretty good for that. But apart from that, I don't think she's necessary at all. I haven't really seen that many people use her, so I don't think she's a unit that you need at all. We've still got the free pulls going on. Special banners. Yeah, this banner. This one, I think this banner is, is pretty good. If you care about this new UR arc at all, which I do want to have a look at, then you can get this arc guaranteed for 10,000 paid crystals. So it's not bad. If you really want this arc, then you can get it guaranteed here. And this will guarantee you the arc. You do get this one guaranteed in this banner. There aren't any other UR arcs in here. And there's no rate up at all, so don't expect much else from this. If you pull on this banner, you're only going to be getting the UR arc. Pretty much that's what you should be expecting, is only that arc and nothing else, because there's no rate up at all. So let's have a look at the main reason why we're here. Is Spirit Maiden Sera. She, I don't know what to say other than just prepare yourself, because if you haven't seen her kit yet, you're going to be very surprised, because this type of unit just seems like she brings a hell of a lot to the table, because she has a lot of different things going for her. She's similar to Labyrinth in a way, as well as, the original form of Sera, because she can give damage caps and stuff. It's just pretty ridiculous, but let's go through it one step at a time first of all. So she's a sorcerer type, obviously. Spirit Maiden Sera, she isn't considered a god type because she's a human type unit. We know this. Actual resistances look okay, not really much to say about that. Ailment resistance, nil to silence, definitely what you need for a support unit. Resistance to illness, doesn't have any stun resistance, which kind of sucks, but not a big deal I suppose, but it would have been nice to see some stun resistance though. So the abilities, usually with the abilities, I don't care about much with the support unit, right? But it's a bit different with this one. So let's have a look first. Skill 1, restore an ally HP in a medium area around ally with the lowest proportion of HP left. So these skills are more supportive skills, and I do like those types of skills. They're pretty damn useful, especially on a support unit, because a skill that just does damage on a support unit is completely useless. So having skills like this actually become useful. So her skill 1 is just a heal. So it restores an ally, so you can target an ally probably and then it restores HP a medium area around that ally with the lowest proportion of HP left. So it's confusing, but basically it's just some form of healing on your skill 1, which is pretty nice to have. Especially considering since your skill 1 you can get SCT back the most from that, because skill 1 requires the least amount of SCT to use it, so I think skill 1 is going to be pretty useful. Just for some more healing if you don't have any MP left or something like that, or if you just want to spam it, it's fine. So skill 2, I like this skill 2 quite a bit as well. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Jen's skill 2, it's pretty similar. Give all allies an effect that restores SCT by 7 seconds after a set time. It's pretty similar to Jen's skill 2. I think it was Jen's skill 2. It was... I think so. I don't have him on this account, but I'm pretty sure it was Jen that did the same thing. It gives a buff and then it restores SCT after a set amount of time. It's pretty good because this is all allies, right? So restoring SCT for all allies, pretty crazy. And technically this would restore her own SCT as well, wouldn't it? So that just seems like a good synergy there, because using the skill 2 is going to regen the skill 2 SCT as well, which allows you to use it sooner, so I think it's pretty good. It's not going to be as good as like spamming, you know, Glass Record or something, but it's still another way to restore SCT if you don't have Glass Record or those equivalent skills. Poem of the Star Readers, if you don't have those, then this will be a good way, a decent way to get some SCT at least. And then her skill 3, the final one here, I do like this one too. This is pretty cool. Give all enemies a strength, defense, intelligence, and mind minus 20% debuff. Just guaranteed, give every single enemy 20% debuff for all of those stats. Just casually do that. It's pretty cool. I like it because you don't even have to worry about casting debuffs on this unit, really. Unless you want the higher debuffs like Giga, High Drain, and stuff like those things, which ends up being minus 35% instead. This is just equivalent to Drain and, you know, Blazer and those stuff. It's just only 20%, but it's still pretty good. The fact that all of these skills are supportive skills. None of these skills do any damage at all. They're just all supportive. So first of all, we got a heal on your skill 1, and then SCT regen on your skill 2, and then skill 3 is a debuff to all enemies. It's pretty good. I do like these skills. And then her special does actually do some damage. Powerful fire contact all enemies, and revives all incapacitated allies, and will greatly restore HP. So having a revive on a support unit on their special is always pretty useful, because it's just a time stop special that allows you to revive your whole team. It can come in handy quite often, so I do like that. I think she can technically do a little bit of damage with a special if you really want to. You could build a special damage build if you want, but I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. Her special is 40 hits, I believe, against all enemies. Sure, it can work. It depends on how much special damage cap she has and how much special damage she has in general, but I wouldn't worry about it too much because her main role is a support, and all of these skills seem pretty good so far. Nothing incredibly, you know, broken so far. They're all pretty useful. I like all of these skills. They're great. But you know where it gets more broken is the traits. So let's have a look at that. Trait 1. Both of these traits, I love both of these traits. These are both very good traits, but trait 1 first. Regularly give all allies a damage taken minus 40% buff. So I'm pretty sure this applies at the start of battle, and every however many seconds, I'm going to guess like 10 seconds or so, it's going to re-give the buff. Something like that. We've seen things like this before, where it regularly gives a buff or a debuff. So it's pretty common, but damage taken minus 40% buff to all your allies is pretty crazy, because it's all damage taken. So every single type of damage taken, you're going to take 40% less damage from it. Obviously, it's not going to stack with, you know, the same type of icon, so it does count as a, you know, damage taken icons, so other units like Renner, I believe, has the same buff icon, which is, I don't know, I think it was like 35% or something. It won't be able to stack with that, but it is still pretty crazy because minus 40% damage taken buff to all allies is great, and you're not likely to be using Sera and Renner at the same time, right? When an enemy uses a attack skill or attack magic, then there is a chance to give that enemy a damage dealt minus 50% and slash or SCT recovery speed 8% debuff for 5 seconds. So I'm quite interested to see what the chance of this is. I would hope it's like 50% chance or something, maybe that'd be too crazy, but I think it could be pretty damn good because, think about it, first of all you've got this damage taken minus 40% buff to all your allies, right? And then you can inflict a debuff to enemies when they use a skill or magic that allows them to deal 50% less damage, so that's pretty crazy. Have those two effects on top of each other is going to be pretty damn good. So even though it's only 5 seconds is fine, because you can continuously keep re-giving this debuff. So as long as the enemy keeps using their skills or magic, you should be able to keep, you know, this debuff up most of the time. So I do like this. And the SCT recovery speed minus 80% is just, it's funny. 80% is a lot, like, it's a hell of a lot. Imagine if it was 100%, you basically have no SCT recovery speed at all. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I think it's more, you know, important, it's more useful in guild battles, I would think. The SCT recovery speed effect only active in arena and guild battles, of course. I wouldn't worry about that too much because 5 seconds of having minus 8% SCT recovery speed doesn't really matter too much. It's not a big deal. The biggest thing about this trait is definitely the minus 50% damage dealt debuff. It's very good, definitely. And it's going to be good in every single content in the game because it's damage taken. So this is damage taken up here, and then this is damage dealt, so it's every single type of damage. And because of that, you can use her everywhere, and it's just going to be effective everywhere. So I do really like this. It's a very nice trait. It's already very strong, but it does get even stronger with her trait 2, which I think is probably even better. Let's have a look at that. So trait 2, battle start, boost all allies HP cap by 5,000. Basically like vitality, and it restores HP. Effect lasts until unit is incapacitated. So it's basically a continuous improved vitality buff on your entire team until unit is incapacitated. So it might be until Sera dies, but if an ally dies and then gets revived, I don't know if they get that buff back. I don't know because I haven't tested anything, but it would be nice if that was the case. If they could get the buff back, it would be nice. So getting extra 5,000 HP on every single one of your units in your team just from Sera being in the team, pretty crazy. I love it. It's great. We're about to get some very juicy stuff right here, so prepare your ears because this is some pretty crazy stuff down here. HP recovery from units' active skills plus 40% HP recovery cap plus 5,000. Pretty good. When restoring ally HP with a skill or magic, randomly heal 1 basic stats element. I love that. You know why? It's crazy. You know why? I love this because you don't even have to worry about casting Cure All or anything, right? You can just keep spamming Stardust Heal or keep spamming Glass Record or something like that, and you don't have to worry about any elements whatsoever because every single time she heals, she's going to remove a basic stats element. So you basically never need to worry about elements ever again as long as you can keep spamming your healing spells. So I just like that quite a bit, and I think it can come in handy sometimes if there are some bosses or something that inflict ailments. Then don't really need to worry about Cure All or having ailment resistance because Sera's just going to heal everything anyways. If you just spam Glass Records, then your entire team's covered for ailments, so you don't need to worry about it. And gives a shield durability of 2000 buff. Great, we love seeing shields. Shields are incredibly broken, as we know, and we've had shields since Spirit Maiden Sera, so we know how strong shields are. It's on Renna, it's on Spirit Maiden Sera. They are very useful because it doesn't say here, but that shield does nullify flinch as long as you have that shield active. So it's pretty crazy. I like it. But here's one of my favorite parts of this trait. Like, yes, all this stuff is great, but this is all supportive stuff, right? Now, what if Sera had a trait or some kind of effect that increases the damage and the damage cap of everyone in your team? Wouldn't that be great, right? Well, I think that's here. So, let's just see what it is. It's ridiculous. When unit is alive, give all allies this effect, right? So this unit just needs to be in your team for this effect to be active all the time, 100% of the time, right? As long as the unit is alive. So this part is crazy. So physical and magic attack and special damage plus 35%. Great, love that. But gets even better. Damage cap plus 8,000, right? Then it gets better. Anti-type damage cap plus 10,000. Give physical / magic attacks and special and anti-god type effect. I'm wondering if the give physical, magic and special god type effect is part of that buff, or if it's not, because I mean it would imply that it is a buff, and that would be crazy, wouldn't it? You know, that's interesting. So basically, yeah, it's crazy. So basically, just from Spirit Maiden Sera being in your team, your entire team is getting 35% physical, magic, and special damage all the time, right? And 8,000 damage cap for physical, magic, and special, and 10,000 anti-type damage cap. So that's 18,000 damage cap, and that's ridiculous on a dual-wield unit, or someone like Cloudia is going to be pretty crazy. And someone like Velvet can take advantage of this anti-type damage cap all the time, because you know how she works, she's got all enemy slayers, so she's going to have that 18,000 damage cap active all the time, which is crazy. So I love that. It's great. And then giving physical, magic, and special and god type effect, if that does apply to the whole team, giving a god type effect, it just sounds pretty crazy. I love this. Like, I do like the offensive buffs more than the supportive buffs, because giving this insane amount of damage cap and the 35% damage while this unit is alive, so it's not a buff, it's continuous as long as this unit is alive, and it's not a buff icon, so you can stack it with everything. Yeah, I love it. It's definitely my favourite part on the trait, is this effect right here for the damage cap, the damage. Very good. I love this trait the most. It's got, you can see how many words it's got on this trait too. It's just crazy. There's a lot of stuff in this trait, but so far, if you can't already tell, these traits are pretty insane, right? Like, yes, you've got units to compare to, like Renna and Lebrev. Those are the two best ones at the moment, but Spirit Maiden Sera, you know, it's probably going to be better than all those units, right? Like, if I were to say, is Sera better than Renna? I would say yes, but she is still different, right? Because Renna has more supportive buffs. She's more of a you know, survivability type support unit. But what Spirit Maiden Sera has is obviously the damage buff and the damage cap buff, right? So that's why I think she brings even more to the table, because she has everything, like pretty much everything that those units have, like Renna, but also more things on top. Like, it's crazy. She's got damage taken minus 40% buff, you know, she's got the minus 50% damage dealt debuff, and then boost all allies HP cap by 5,000, and then obviously restore stats element every time that she heals, crazy, and the 2000 durability shield, which nullifies flinch as long as you keep spamming healing and have that shield up. It's crazy. And then while this unit is alive, you're getting 35% physical and magic and special damage, and 8,000 damage cap, and 10,000 anti-type damage cap. You know, all this stuff's crazy, and I think she's definitely going to be the best unit in the game for a support that can do everything, right? Not literally every single thing, like, obviously there's probably some things she's missing. Like, Spirit Maiden Sera is still the only unit that has a buff that nullifies feints, which isn't as crazy, right, but it's still useful in its way. It can be useful sometimes. But what Spirit Maiden Sera brings to the table with these traits by themselves, ridiculous. And you've also got her skills, which are pretty damn useful, and, you know, her special with the revive is pretty good. But it does get better, because we've got to look at her skills next. So she has a hell of a lot of castable magic spells, which is nice. Obviously, that's what you want on a support unit. So, Ancient Heal, I'm never really a fan of Ancient Heal because God Heal's just better. Because Ancient Heal's not time stop, and if it was time stop, it would have been fine, but because it's not time stop, I don't really like it. Same thing with Starlight Heal, I don't really like it because it's not time stop, so I would prefer to have Stardust Heal instead. But they're both here if you want some form of healing, so it's fine, I suppose. Erase, remove one debuff from an ally, can be useful. High Resurrection, of course. On a support unit, they should have this. This is pretty damn good for reviving. It's great. Grand Protection 2, pretty good. All allies, physical damage taken, minus 35% buff. It's pretty good. And Magic Castle 2, love it. So EX Brave and EX Aura, these are two very nice ones for sure. I do like these. So EX Brave boosting ally strength by 50% and boosting allies intelligence by 50%. These two buffs are pretty good. They're pretty great, right? If a unit, most units, physical damage dealers have Grand Brave nowadays, so casting EX Brave on that unit does technically give them another 15% more strength, so it is nice. And same thing with mages, you can give them, you know, 50% intelligence buff now. So I do think these are pretty good. And they can come in handy against some bosses that have incredibly high defense or mind, so I do think these buffs are going to be quite useful. Giga Vitality Phaser. Okay, it's quite expensive though. Increase all allies HP cap by 5,000 and recover HP. This is basically the same thing as Trade 2, right? About to start, boost all allies HP cap by 5,000 and restore HP. I'm wondering if this is the same icon as this Vitality, Giga Vitality Phaser, because it might be, but if it's not, that would be pretty crazy. But they are technically the same type of buff, so I would assume it's probably the same icon. Flame Wall 2, earth damage to all allies minus 35%, and Stone Wall 2, thunder damage to all allies minus 35%. It's pretty good. I do wish he had every single Wall 2 buff, because that would have been great. Like Spirit Maiden Sera has that. Would have been nice to have all of them, but I'm not going to complain because her kit is already crazy enough. And then this one is an interesting one. Last Ethereum is a unique one that we haven't seen before. Costs 300 MP. So it uses all of the unit's HP and MP and skill stocks, but it revives all of your incapacitated allies and very great restores the HP and fully restores the SCT. And HP recovery cap is plus 90,000, and you can only use this once per wave. Obviously this kills the unit, so basically this is like the last thing. Like, let's say Spirit Maiden Sera is the last unit alive in your team, but she does have a revive. Let's say you put on Decoy or something, then you don't have to worry about this. The fact that it kills this unit. Then you can cast this and it's going to revive every single one of your units and fully restore their HP and SET. So I do think this can be useful sometimes. If you're, struggling against the boss, then I do think this could be quite useful sometimes. So it is nice to have this, but you do have to remember that it uses all of her MP as well, and it kills the unit. So Sera won't have any MP left after she uses this, which might be a bit of a problem. But it won't be a problem if you get the new UR arc because of the arc skill. But we'll talk about that once we get to it after this. But this is probably something you're not going to want to use that often unless you're desperate. That's probably what I would do. If one of my team is dead, then that's probably when I would consider using it. Now we get on to the passive skills. So she should have a lot of MP. MP up 2, MP up max, resolve up max, pretty nice. Arcane up 4, Esoteric up 1, and Esoteric up 4 is pretty good. MP and Mind is what you need for this type of unit. You don't really need anything else. Defense does help as well. Advanced Guard Vitals, less critical damage taken. It's pretty nice. Divinity Shield, I do like Divinity Shield, it's pretty good. God Dragon and Spirit and Undead type enemies, you take 20% less damage from those enemies, pretty good. Auto Heal 2, I love Auto Heal 2, it's pretty good. I just like Auto Heal in general, as long as you have MP, Auto Heal is pretty crazy. It's ridiculous for a skill, it's very good. When you're close to death, automatically use 30 MP to very greatly restore HP. It's very good. Fire Enhance, fire attack damage and special damage makes sense because her special does count as fire, so that does help there. Healing High Boost, Archangel's Blessing, I do like Archangel's Blessing. Battle End, recover MP, so at the end of a wave, you get some MP at the start of the next wave, so it's pretty good. Magellan Shield is pretty good, I like that. Pretty good skill. Beast Repellent, of course, makes sense for a support. Rogue Giga Boost, less damage taken, and more MP, more mind, by 20% when you have a rogue, it's pretty good. Special Boost 4, more special damage and damage cap. Skill Charge 3, okay, nice. Decoy, she does already have Decoy, so that's great. Celestial Raiments is a great one to have. Healing magic casting speed plus 50%, and chance for healing to deal critical damage. Critical heal is pretty good, mostly for the casting speed. Casting speed is always going to be great to have. Now we get on to the unique skills down here, it's pretty good. I always say pretty good too much, but they're all great. First one here, special damage, this is more of a special focus skill. Special damage 8%, damage cap 40,000. Battle start when a soldier, sorcerer, beast and spirit type unit are all in the party. Then special damage plus 100% and damage cap plus 60,000 more. So this is a lot of special damage cap and a lot of special damage as well. Plus 100,000 damage cap for your special and a plus 180% special damage. But you do have to have soldier, sorcerer, beast and spirit type in the party, but that doesn't matter too much because you can just put those mimicry skills on Sera and it'll be completely fine. So if you want to build her as a special damage dealer for whatever reason, then just make sure to use those mimicries on Sera or any unit in your team, and then you'll get a hell of a lot of damage and damage cap for your special. It's pretty nice. Enemy attention drawn -1, do like that. Damage taken -30%, it's great. Just damage taken -30% all the time is from everything is just really good. Special damage to god types 150%, that's a lot, and damage cap 160,000, hell of a lot as well. So her special damage cap against god type enemies should be pretty good, right? If she's up against a god type wave, with a bunch of enemies that are god types, then I think she should be able to kill them all, because her special should have a lot of damage cap. So I think it's pretty great. Nullify anti-sorcerer type effects, amazing, love that. Continuous recast effect, I love that as well, it's always great on his support for sure. Duration of buffs and debuffs from active skills plus 10%, doesn't matter too much, but I do really like the Nullify sorcerer, anti-sorcerer type effect, it's really good, and continuous recast effects very good as well. The Nullify sorcerer type effect does mean that you don't want any mimicry type skills on this unit if you want to use her in PvP, but in PvE content it doesn't really matter, because there aren't really bosses that do slayer damage, so this is only really for PvP I think, but recast is still pretty good. Continuous Mind, plus 35% buff, and Advanced Magic Circles effect, great stuff. At least 10 MP cost healing / support magic uses 10% SMP, so if your healing or support magic costs at least 10, then it's going to be reduced by 10%, which isn't much, but it still helps, so I do like that. And it is going to apply to things like Honey Elixir and stuff like that, even though it's not really going to matter, but it's still going to be nice. Mostly going to be useful for Glass Record. It's going to be pretty great for that, allow you to spam that even more, so it's pretty good. Now, the 6th enhanced skills, last one's here, special boost, more special damage cap, take 10% less damage, which is great. Robe Mastery, when you have a robe equipped, intelligence of mind plus 30%, and damage taken minus 10%, so your robe, intelligence, and mind. It's not much stats, but the damage taken minus 10% is pretty good. Skill charge 3, you know, having this transcend skill charge 3 with skill charge 3 is already, you know, 35 seconds, so I'm wondering if that is enough to automatically have a skill 3 at the start of the battle, because that would be pretty crazy, wouldn't it? You just instantly use a skill 3 at the start of battle, debuff every single enemy. I think it could be pretty nice. Great War of Ruin, we've seen this before, but it is a very nice one. At the start of the boss wave, restore all skills SET and special gauge plus 50%. It's pretty good, and restoring her SET is pretty nice because her skills are quite useful for her buffs and healing and whatever, so I do like that. And then the last one, duration of buffs and debuffs from active skills plus 10%, and HP recovery cap plus 5,000. So that's her entire kit. Honestly, yes, this is pretty crazy. I mean, her passive skills aren't as crazy as her traits. I think her traits are definitely the strongest things in her kit, but her skills are pretty damn good too. Like, they're kind of what you would expect for a support unit. There's nothing, you know, ridiculous in her skills, but they are quite useful. Like, all of these effects very useful. All the damage taken, take less damage effects are amazing, and the healing, casting speed, and all of these magic spells are pretty damn useful to have on a support unit, so these are all pretty crazy. But definitely my favourite thing of this unit, about this unit, is her traits. Trait 1 is amazing for the debuff and the buff, very nice. And then the trait 2 is just crazy for, you know, it's got a lot of effects here. I really like this trait 2, but if you can't already tell, she seems like the newest, best support unit in the game, and the best unit in the game, because we don't get support units very often in this game, and when we do, usually they're pretty good, right? And we don't have that many. We've got the original form of Sera, we've got Spirit Maiden Sera, we've got Rena, we've got Labref, we've got Moana, that's like 5, and there's probably a couple more, but the best ones in the game currently are Rena and Labref, and maybe Spirit Maiden Sera, she's still pretty good, but Rena and Labref are probably better, for sure. So, if I were to compare Spirit Maiden Sera to the currently existing support units, I do think Spirit Maiden Sera does rates higher than those units, even Rena. But the big but about this is Rena is a bit different because she's more on survivability buffs, right? And I think maybe Rena might work a bit better for survivability, or maybe quite similar, I don't know, but Rena is more for surviving, right? She is great at that. But what Spirit Maiden Sera has as well as survivability is, you know, this trait too, which can give all your allies damage, 35% damage, and 18,000 damage cap. So that's why I think Spirit Maiden Sera is probably going to be better than Rena and Lebreath for sure. If you already have Rena, and if you already have Lebreath, then Spirit Maiden Sera, she's still going to be great for your account, but it's up to you if you want to pull or not, because I know there's going to be collabs and anniversaries coming up, so it's up to you. But if you don't have Rena, I would say definitely get this unit if you can. If you don't have Rena, then try to get this unit. It has to be a must pull for me. Like, because I don't have Rena, this unit is a must pull. I don't say it ever, but this unit is that good that she's going to be the best unit in the game on the tier list when she gets added to it, 100%. So if you need a healer, if you don't have Rena, then get this unit. And I don't care what we say, try and get this unit, because she's so good. Like, it's crazy. If you see everything in her kit, what she brings to the table for your entire team is ridiculous. Like, the damage and the damage caps, and the survivability, the healing is all great. So, even the debuffs, it's very good. So, I will come back to Spirit Maiden Sera a bit later on. Now let's have a quick look at the UR arc. So, Redemption of the Beast, obviously this is to do with Lagrain, and story behind this probably. So, this arc does seem more of a supportive arc for, obviously, Sera. It's more of a healer's, you know, arc trait. But I do think this could be useful. The question is, though, is it worth 10,000 paid crystals? I don't know. Let's have a look first. So, the trait, when you have a staff equipped, HP recovery from units' active skills plus 20% and HP recovery cap plus 3,000. Okay. Damage taken minus 15%, so all the time you just take 15% less damage from everything. Very good. Love that. Won't faint from enemy attacks. Always useful for sure. Cost of MP healing magic minus 30%. So this trait kind of looks, you know, nothing crazy, which I admit is probably nothing crazy, but cost of MP healing minus 30%, healing magic minus 30% is pretty good. It allows you to spam, obviously, glass record and healing spells more often, you know, it just allows you to use more of them. So I really like that part of the trait for sure, and you do get more healing and more healing cap, and you take less damage, and the won't fainting can be useful on some units, so I do think it's pretty nice. Hey, so I do think this trait's okay, but is it worthy of a UR arc trait? Probably not, but it's not bad, right? But it does have an arc skill, so I suppose I should look at that now. So this arc skill is interesting. I think this could definitely be useful. I can see how it can be useful in a moment. So restore at level 10, it restores MP by 500 to the unit that has this arc equipped, and it restores 300 MP to all other allies. So you know why this is good? Well, things like Honey Elixir, right? That's probably why it's going to be good. And if you're up against a boss that, you know, removes your MP, then this is going to come in handy. But here's the biggest synergy I can think of, right, with this. You put this on your support, right? Or just any unit, for instance. And let's say you have a full team of units that use Honey Elixir, right? Or you have one main damage dealer, and then you have two other, you know, units that want to use Honey Elixir, right? So this allows you to use Honey Elixir another time, and it is a time stop arc skill, so I do think this is going to be quite useful in raid bosses, because this will stop the time, and just restoring your MP for your entire team by 300 allows you to use Honey Elixir another time, and the fact that this arc skill does stop the time is quite useful. I know you can get MP back from, you know, Goddess Kiss, normal attacks, but that requires time, and in things like raid bosses where time matters a hell of a lot and you want to do as much damage as possible in the time that you have, and the fact that time stops they do work in raid bosses, I do think this arc skill will be useful in raid bosses. So because of that, I do see this arc skill being useful sometimes, but not always. In time trials, it's not going to be used because it's not going to stop the time. In normal battles, I still think it's going to be nice. In Tower of Trials, it's going to be nice because you get the arc skill every time you go into a new battle, so you can just use this every battle you go into for the Tower of Trials, and you can just instantly restore all your allies' MP and 500 MP on the current unit, so I do think it's going to be great. It's going to be quite a nice arc skill, honestly, and I can see some use with it. It's not anything crazy, but it can open up a couple of doors. It can open up some new strategies a little bit. I know we have an SSR arc that has the same type of arc skill, but it's not as good as this, so it's a pretty nice one. Now let's look at the learnable skills. I think the learnable skills are actually pretty good as well. Pure Blazer, don't care too much about that. Sorcery Awaken we have seen before, so it's nothing special. Robe High Boost Plus. So we've seen Robe Boost, right? Robe Boost Plus, but now this is Robe High Boost Plus. So this is technically a new skill. When you have a robe equipped, magic attack damage plus 20% and physical damage taken minus 20%. It's a very good skill. For 9 SC, it's definitely worth it because magic damage 20% and physical damage taken minus 20% is pretty good. So I do think it's a very nice skill. Healing Mega Boost for 13 SC, I don't know. I feel like it's unnecessary. Healing Mega Boost is probably not really needed for most healers, you know, unless you want the healing cap, but even then, I don't think it's really worth it. Auto High Magic Barrier, I mean, maybe useful sometimes, but not really because it's too expensive, and yes, it's continuous, but I'm rarely going to really use that. I would rarely use that. Now, the final one here is probably the biggest one, is Thaumaturgy Ring Plus. So, as you know, we've had Thaumaturgy Ring teachable from Theopolis for a long time now, and now we finally have Thaumaturgy Ring Plus as a learnable skill on this arc. So you can now have Thaumaturgy Ring and Thaumaturgy Ring Plus on any unit that you want, which is quite funny to me, because now, you know what you can do, is you can go to any single mage, just any mage, picture a mage, just any mage, doesn't matter what mage it is, right? Let's say Eliza, for instance, she's not even a physical damage dealer. Go and give her Thaumaturgy Ring and Thaumaturgy Ring Plus, and you're just fine. Probably. I mean, probably not, but, you know, you can do things like that if you really want to now. You can just go to any single mage that you want, and give them Thaumaturgy Ring and Thaumaturgy Ring Plus if you have them. And the fact that we can do that now is just hilarious. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but some units do have Thaumaturgy Ring, but not Thaumaturgy Ring Plus, and on those units, I think this skill is going to be amazing for those units. So, I do like this. These learnable skills are pretty good. My favourite ones here, definitely Thaumaturgy Ring Plus and Robe High Boost Plus, are both going to be very good skills. The rest of them don't really matter. Archive Rewards, I don't think this one's that amazing. Is a staff. When unit revives a party member, boost HP recovery when revived. HP recovery cap from units active skills plus 1000. You know, it's not that amazing, really. Like, yes, you could use it on a healer, but it's not that great. Boost HP recovery when revived. I mean, it's mostly for reviving. and you get more HP recovery cap. It's not that great, right? It's just for supports, healers. I don't really care too much about it. The main thing about this arc, definitely the learnable skills. The arc skill can be quite useful. The arc trait isn't anything amazing, but is a decent one for your supports, I suppose, if you really want to. But usually I would put on a more of a, you know, supportive arc trait instead, like Holy War or something like that instead, on a support. So I don't know, but I still think this arc's pretty nice. Definitely has some useful things here. Is it worth the 10,000 paid crystals? I don't know. I'm not going to be doing it. I don't think it's worth the 10,000 paid crystals for me, because I feel like I don't really need it that much. I can say that it is going to be a nice one to have for sure, but for 10,000 paid crystals, probably not worth getting unless you can see yourself using this a hell of a lot. That's up to you, but I'm trying to not spend very much, so I'm not going to be doing that. But I can definitely see it being useful. If you care anything about the raid bosses, then this arc skill might be useful for you for sure. Thaumaturgy Ring Plus is going to be great. Rope High Boost Plus. You can put Rope High Boost Plus on Lilahar, and that would be nice. Even more damage for her is going to be great. So definitely a good banner for sure. Spirit Maiden Sera, the newest broken unit in the game that is stupidly overpowered, that you should probably get. Yeah, it's probably not worth 10,000 paid crystals, but honestly, if you think about it, 10,000 paid crystals for a guaranteed new UR arc is pretty good. Like, it is good, right? The value is not that bad, considering step gachas are usually 30,000 paid crystals guaranteed a unit, right? So, this is not bad. If you really want a new one, I think this is good. If they continue to make this banner available for every single new UR arc in the game, I think they're going to start selling a hell of a lot of UR arcs, because this banner, some people are going to be tempted by this banner, honestly. I know people are going to be tempted, because being able to guarantee yourself the completely new UR arc for 10,000 paid crystals is just a steal for some people, and I get that. I would be in that boat as well, but I'm stopping myself because I just feel like I don't need it, you know. That's up to you. So now let's go over to the trading space. Yeah, the most broken unit for sure, 100%. Definitely going to be getting that unit, hopefully. Let's have a look at her paid equipments next, though. So she has a staff and a robe. Makes sense. I'm glad she doesn't have a 50 credential paid. That's good. So let's have a look at the staff first. I think the staff is my favourite one here. So it's a fire staff. MP Mind Intelligence, pretty good. So the trait, MP plus 10%, love that. You know why? MP. I love MP. Having more MP, the more MP the better, allows you to use even more spells, is pretty good. So I would love to have that MP. HP recovery from units and gift skills plus 25%, and HP recovery cap plus 2,000, pretty nice. And when unit is alive, all allies damage cap plus 2,000. So this basically improves her trait 2 to now it's going to be 20,000 pretty much, so this is great. It's pretty similar to the original form of Sera. She has a similar staff which improves the damage cap of everyone on your team. Is pretty good, right? I don't think this staff is that crazy, but I do think it's a very nice one, and I would consider it. I would consider getting it because it's pretty damn good, right? MP plus 10%, and the all allies damage cap plus 2,000 are what I like the most about this staff. And the fact that this unit is going to be a unit that's going to last many, many years just makes it feel like it's going to be worth getting. Because if you get this, you're going to be using Spirit Maiden Sera for like pretty much forever. So it's probably worth getting, maybe. That's up to you though. Let's have a look at the robe next. Pretty nice stats. Physical and magic attack and special damage taken minus 20%. Okay. Won't faint from enemy attacks. Pretty nice. Battle start, give a revive effect to the unit with no time limit. Great, another revive is always nice to have. And HP plus 10%. Even gives 10 ice resistance and some stun resistance. So, obviously this is the more PvP focused robe, right? So if you care about arena or guild battles at all, then probably get this robe. I would probably prefer to get this if I cared about PvP, because of the revive effect and the damage taken, you know, and HP is pretty good. It's very good. But if you don't care about PvP, then probably the staff is better. For PvE for sure. So this one for PvP, this one for PvE. That's probably what I would do, but obviously you don't need any of them. I'm just kind of giving my suggestions on these. I think they're both very solid, but you don't need any of them at all. I would personally select this staff because I don't really care much about PvP at all. And this staff giving the damage cap and the MP is very nice, and Spirit Maiden Sera is going to be a unit that's going to last many years, so I definitely think it's worth it. I'm probably going to get the staff and not the robe. I'm only going to get one of them because getting both is not worth it at all. But if you care about PvP, get the robe because it's pretty good. There are probably alternatives, but they do both seem pretty nice. So that's everything regarding this unit so far. I do kind of want to showcase this unit, but it is quite difficult to showcase a support unit, so I didn't put it in the title because I can't really showcase her damage or skills or anything. So the showcase won't be that long. I'm just going to be showcasing her, what her skills look like, and the effects and stuff, and probably her special. And that's probably about as far as I can go with that. But let's actually try and get this unit, because I really need this unit, because I don't have Renna and I don't have Labref. The best support unit I have right now is Spirit Maiden Sera. So this unit is a must pull for me. I must have this unit because she's gonna boost my account by a hell of a lot. I really need this unit, so let's try and get this unit, shall we? I am not really worried about the arc at all. It would be nice to have, but I'm not going to be pulling for it. I'm just going to be trying to get the unit, because the unit just seems pretty crazy and ridiculous. It's crazy. Let's get this one. Let's hope we can get some good stuff today. I really need this unit. She is a unit that is something I need on my account because I don't have Renna. I would like to use her in pretty much everywhere, because currently I'm using Spirit Maiden Sera as my main support healer, which isn't the best. Hopefully if we get a red that it's something new. I would like to see some actual new things today at least. Let's hope so. Nope. When no one shows up, there's a gold, so I'll watch it anyway. Yeah, I personally like doing these step gachas, just because they're quite cheap. There is a red. Can you at least be a unit? No. Damn it. Well, it could still be something new, right? It's probably not. I'm missing a lot of SSR arcs though, so maybe. Could it be the unit? No. I was kind of hoping, because there's two reds, but there's another one there at least. Yeah. At least I got something new. Because I really need to get all of these arcs, these SSR arcs that I don't have, so I'll take some new stuff. I like seeing new things. Now here is the free temple. Need to get Spirit Maiden Sera as soon as possible because I need this unit. Desperately need this unit. Like, I don't want to spend that many crystals because I know there's going to be anniversary and collabs coming up, and I need my crystals for those just in case, so I really don't want to use too many crystals, if I can help it. Game, please. One. No. Yes, there is a red. Don't be an ARC this time. We need Sera. Oh. Oh god. Man. I didn't think that was going to show up. I was hoping for it to be the unit, but, you know, I'm not complaining because it's actually a decent ARC. Oh. Well, that's great. I can't complain at all. At level 1, this is at level 1 by the way. Restore MP by 300 to the unit and restore MP by 100 to all other allies. This is great. I am definitely happy with this one. I'm not complaining at all, because getting any type of UR arc is amazing. Thaumaturgy Ring Plus is going to be nice to mess around with that. Rogue High Boost Plus, definitely going to be using that on Lillahar 100%, so that's great. Definitely happy with that one, but we still need to get the unit, so I'm going to keep going. Need to keep an eye on how many credentials I have. I'm going to do one more temple, and then 4 singles, and then we can get the staff. Let's hope we get Sera in this temple. That'd be perfect. That would be amazing, the best thing ever. Because then I could save everything else. That'd be amazing. But I doubt that would be the case. Nope, it's not gonna happen. No one's showing up. It is a gold. I'm gonna watch it anyways. But I don't like it when no one shows up. It just, yeah. 3 animations, okay. Still no red. I mean, there could be a random red that shows up, but the chance of that, not very likely. Okay. Well. Dupe. Whatever. Because, yeah, I wasn't gonna get that arc, so that was a very big win. Let's do 4 singles, and then I should have enough for the staff. Yes. Let's hope we can get the unit from these 4 singles, and then I suppose what I'm going to do after this is just single 3 crystal summons, I suppose. Until we get the unit, hopefully, because the unit's going to be amazing. That's number 2. Number 3. And then one more. There we go. That's the last one, for the paid crystals at least. Then I can get the staff, because I do really like the staff. I'm not going to be getting the robe. I'm not going to worry about that. I just wanted to get, yeah, this one, 100%. It's very good. Definitely get that one. Made my decision. I don't really need the robe. I mean, if you cared about PvP, if I cared at all about PvP, I would get the robe, but I don't want to do that. So, now what we're going to do is probably spend many years doing single pulls until we get Spirit Maiden Sera, so let's hope, because I really need to get this unit desperately, so let's try to get the unit as soon as possible. Anything new showing up is going to be a surprise, so let's hope. Now this is probably when it starts. This is probably when I start getting no reds at all, when it's probably going to take many years to get a single red, isn't it? Yeah, that's usually how it happens, how it goes when I do this. Usually just have a very long streak of nothing, but I can't complain because I got the arc, so that was nice. I'm only going to watch them if it's Zekus or Thoria with a gold. That has potential to be a red, but anything else, I'll just skip it. We need to get Sera. Come on, Sera. We need this unit because she's going to be amazing. I can already tell. That wasn't what I wanted. That, you know, that wasn't. I didn't want that. I'm missing so many units and you give me a dupe of something. Ridiculous. The Rhea. There's a blue. Nope. Man. You know what will be a troll? Is if I actually get Sera, but just the wrong one. Like, I hope that does not happen because I would be sad. Oh. Hey, didn't we get that earlier? That's not good. That's bad. That's not... Hey! Wow! That reaction was terrible. Don't question it. I don't do reactions. I'm not a reaction channel, okay? If the power of the Spirit Maiden can save anyone, I will not hesitate no matter what the cost. That's what it means to be a Spirit Maiden. Note, it's my duty. Okay. Perfect. Actually a good banner for me for once. Love that. Now we're done. For this banner, I can save everything else. So, I did take some time to think about what I wanted to do with this account in regards to summons, and I have decided I'm not going to be pulling on every single banner from now on because I just don't think it's necessary. I'm just going to be putting on units that I like a little bit and units that I feel like I need. I'm still going to be trying to do the step gacha for any unit that I am interested in. Like Spirit Maiden Sera is going to be... She is going to boost my account by so much, it's ridiculous. You know what she deserves? It's a rainbow potion. I really need more rainbow potions. Perfect. Level up, maybe? No? Very close to. I do kind of want to read these. She's 22. Okay. Well... amazing. I would like to test her out for sure, but... you know, I might a little bit. Maybe a little bit. First things first, let me switch to the Steam version first, and then I have some things to do. So, what I want to do now is obviously showcase the unit in the unit test play quest, but I am kind of considering awakening her and using her special in just a normal stage just to see what it's like. Yeah, that was definitely a very good banner. I like that. Because if you remember, the summons on Moana's banner was terrible. I did stop pulling from Moana because I realised I didn't actually want that unit. So I'm trying to be smarter on this account, if I can manage that, because I'm always stupid with summons, and I need to stop being dumb. Okay, so... finally I can replace my Spirit Maiden Sera with another Spirit Maiden. You're definitely going to get a favourite. Where's the favourite button? Let's put her on the team first. She's going to be great. There we go. Yeah, summoning only on collabs and good deals is what I'm going to try to do. But here's the problem though. Recently there have been a hell of a lot of good deals. And what I mean by that is the sweet step up gacha was actually pretty good. I know I said it was bad in my previous stream, but I was wrong because I forgot that the reason why it was 30,000 was because it includes limited units in the sweet step up gacha. The bitter step up gacha is just not worth it really, but the sweet one is definitely very good, so I managed to get Summon AL from that, which was amazing. And I am planning to build more units, but it's going to take me a long time, because I do like Summon AL, she's great. So, I suppose what I should do now is put her in here. I have Shift Adele as well. Shift Adele's probably going to be pretty nice with, you know, Sera. It's going to be great. I do want to try out this arc skill just to show you what it's like, so I'll do that soon. And I'm probably going to level this up. Nice. Level 39. We're getting there. Eventually we're going to be level 50 and that's going to be great, but it's taking a long time to level up now. I'm wondering what the increase is per level, because ideally want to get this restore MP to all other allies to 200, because once it's to 200 that allows you to use Honey Elixir again, so that's kind of what you're aiming for that. I don't think I'm going to get this yet. I don't think I need it. I definitely want to read that stuff later. So, let's go and try and unlock every skill here. Actually, enhance first. And then unlock everything. There we go. I don't think I can get everything because my materials are kind of lacking. I need a lot of materials. I'm just waiting for the right event for it. See? Am I gonna buy the skin? I'll be honest. I'm not the type of person that buys skins, so probably not. I've never bought a skin in this game. I do think they look nice, but using paid crystals just for a cosmetic, I don't do that really, because it doesn't benefit my account whatsoever. So I'm probably not gonna get the skins. I need more rainbow clusters. That's the one thing I need right now. That's the only thing I need is rainbow clusters. Crazy. Well, I should be able to get more of those soon. What's her ward? Good question. It should be good, right? No, it's not. All units special damage 1%, whatever. Let's awaken. I need to awaken. I mean, I do like the red ones. I think the red one looks cool, but it makes her look evil. The purple one, I mean, obviously they look nice, but this one's probably my favourite one. The red one's a bit too much. The base one's fine. Not going to be buying any skins. Never bought a skin. I'm sure some people are interested, but don't really want to do that. Even though Spirit Maiden Sera is going to be a unit used for many years, so it would be a good investment if you cared about the skins. If you were to get a skin, this would be the one unit. I just want to get to Awaken 4, so then her special can do more damage. So then I can actually try using her special. Here we go. Awaken 4. That's fine. So while I'm here, I might as well show you quickly some recommended build options, but honestly, what do you really need to know? Like, what more is there to know other than she's support? So, she has Robe Boost skills. She's got Robe Giga Boost and a Transcend Robe Boost skill, so obviously you want to have a robe. Now, what robes do I have? I don't think I have that many good ones, do I? No. I mean, I don't really have any good ones. I got none. I'm probably just going to use that one just because it's the only one I got. And obviously, you want to have a staff. Why would you want a bow? You would never want a bow. There's no point. Any type of staff that gives MP or for healing is kind of what you're looking for. So Heaven's Cry giving 50 MP is fine. 50 MP is probably what you're looking for, so I would consider just something that has MP or more healing. Obviously I'm going to go with a paid staff, but not necessary. It's a very good one. I mean, healing wand, technically, if you don't have anything else, it's okay. I'm just going to go with these two. I think these are fine. And then accessories, good question, I don't really know. I think for accessories, what you really should look for is just more MP. Just more MP, that's all you need. And I don't know if she needs casting speed, really. Maybe not. She might not need it, because she might already have enough. There's still a hell of a lot of accessories that I'm missing, so it feels bad, but it's fine. I know I don't have many things, but if I were to put on an accessory, I'd probably just look for MP or Crown of... This one, I like this one. Let's just have a look at MP. Black Diamonds, you know, that's pretty good. I'm actually going to put that on, because it does give some stun resistance, so that's pretty good. And illness resistance, so that's pretty great. I'm going to keep that one on. And the second one, I don't think it really matters. Yeah, I don't really have anything else that's good. I would probably just use this one. This is fine. It's not perfect, but support builds are pretty easy to build, because Spirit Maiden Sera doesn't really even need equipment, because her base kit is enough, you know. Even if she was naked with no equipment at all, she would still work. That's the thing about these units, is it doesn't rely on their equipments whatsoever. MP is already pretty good. Mind is pretty good. MP is already 700. It's great. Okay, so what I want to do very quickly before we go into the unit test play quest is try out her special. Now, I guess I should show you what I did manage to get from the UR Gap banners. I managed to get 9 new ones from every single one, so I did all of them. I did both of the 5 pulls, so those were 10 pulls, and then another 3 arcs, and then the 1 10 pull that guaranteed 1. So I did manage to get Great War of Ruin from that, and I've already got that level 10. It's the first thing I got, level 10. Love this one, so I'm going to be using that. I just quickly want to try her out, her special, just to see if it can even do any damage right now. Probably not much, but I'm interested. I'm going to do it in 2 different stages. I'm going to do it here first, and then in a stage with God-type enemies, which it should kill them, maybe. If you want to increase her special damage, then put on special boost skills, and fire attack ray skills will help. So it's going to do 40 hits, I believe. And yeah, of course it don't do much. Pretty much what I should have expected, right? I'm just going to do it again. If I had El Dravano, it would make a big difference. But I don't. Yeah, obviously it's not going to do very much. Let's go to a different stage. Now let's go against God-type enemies, and you should be noticing a massive difference in terms of damage, I think. So these enemies are God-type enemies. I use this. They have 0 fire resistance, so that's fine. Now she should be doing more than the 7,700 per hit this time. But I don't think it's going to be ridiculous because she's not built for special damage. So it's probably not. Well, it's better than nothing, right? But obviously by itself it's not going to do very much. She's definitely going to do more in the unit test play quest at least. Which I want to do that right now. But showcasing this unit's going to be a bit weird. Let's try it anyways. So, unit test play quest right here. Let's try her out here. She has obviously a full team, makes sense, with Dell and Lenius. I'm hoping Lenius gets a shift form because his shift form will be great. Like, I know I've been hearing people talking about shift Lenius, just because Lenius is a cool unit and it would be amazing to see him get a shift form. I agree, because having a shift form of Lenius would be great. I would love that. Well, let's, before you say anything, before you judge anything, let's go in the unit test play quest, because she should be pretty good here. So obviously she's got paid equipment. Sun God Magitama is actually a pretty nice one. I think I do have that. I just need to get the Archive reward. Yeah, so that would be a pretty good one to use because it has 75 MP. It's a pretty nice one. Only base skills. Pretty good stats, a lot of MP. Let's try this out. So what I want to do here mostly is I want to just show her skills off and see what her specials does. So see how much her special does in terms of damage in here. Obviously it's very hard to showcase a support and how good they actually are because on paper you see more on paper than you do when you actually try them in practice, right? The female ticket, I'll have a look at that quickly in a moment, I suppose. If you're talking about the sweet banner or the prisms, because the prisms, it really depends on what you have. The sweet banner, definitely a summon AL, I'd choose that one. So, how does a skill 1 work? It's what I want to know. Target an enemy, use skill 1. You know what I like about it is the fact that it heals multiple allies, so it doesn't just heal one. Yeah, this unit test play quest isn't going to be the best place to showcase this type of unit, is it? No, not really. So, when you use a skill 2, it gives this buff, restore SET on its timer, and then once that goes away, it's going to restore... Wait a minute. Yeah, it's going to restore SET for all the units. So, for the sweet, if you've done the sweet step up catcher, then I highly recommend to select Summer Nael. Summer Nael is probably the better one because she's limited. I know that Lebref and the Lahar are very good as well, but they are Descent of Heroes units and they're more accessible, so in my opinion I'd probably select Nael. The summer version of Nael because that's the one I got. That's the one I selected. It's pretty good. I'm just going to use the special now. I want to see some good damage here at least. Yes, that's what you like seeing. 241,000 damage times 40 is 9.6 million. That's pretty good, you know, because that can be against all enemies. It's just not bad. Not bad. I didn't really get to properly test that. Let's try that again at least. So let's talk through each skill first of all. Let's kind of break it down a bit first. So her skill 1 is a bit interesting. It's kind of difficult to really understand how it works because I think it just heals, not melee. Don't select melee. Nail. Melee's definitely one you should not be selecting. She's not useful anymore. Feel Fender was the SET one. How long does it last? And it's gone. It lasts about 5 seconds maybe. 2, 3. Yeah, it's about 5 seconds. So the stream's pretty nice, but I know it's not going to be lasting very long. Trust me, what you should do is you should definitely go back and watch the summons because they're pretty. I'm not going to say anything, but because you know that I'm mentioning the summons, you're probably going to assume that it went pretty well. Well, I can say yes. That's what I'm going to say. But yeah, it's quite difficult to test out this unit. Yeah, definitely lucky banner for me. That's some pretty good healing cap right there. Basically a 30,000 healing cap. That's very nice. I wanted to test out her skill 3 as well, because I haven't done that yet. Yeah, 30k healing. It's very difficult to test a support unit, so a normal player, like a newer player, wouldn't super understand how much value she's giving to this team right now, but she is giving, you know, this 35% damage and 8,000 damage cap and 10,000 anti-tank damage cap's great. Right. I'll just show you quickly, and then I'll go back into this one. Because I did the sweet banner. That's why it's not showing up right now. I did the sweet banner myself. And I personally selected this version of Nael. I would recommend this one because she's a summer limited unit. So if you did the sweet banner, select this unit because she's limited and she's pretty useful. That's my opinion though. Like, I know there's better units like Lilahar, but she's Descent of Heroes, right? And the reason why I would select Summer Nael over Lilahar is just because Lilahar is more accessible, and coming anniversary, you might be able to get Lilahar there, maybe. And also you can get Lilahar off banner now, so I know it is relying on luck though. You could even get Lilahar from these tickets now if you're not aware. On this hero ticket gacha, you can now get Lilahar, so there is a chance. But up to you, I suppose, if you really want Lilahar. Maybe select Lilahar or summon AL, that's up to you though. So let me just do one more showcase really quick. Because I haven't used her skill 3 yet, because I think her skill 3 is going to be interesting. Yeah, I played basically since the game released, so I know a hell of a lot about this game. Even though I'm on a rank 39 account, just ignore that. I had a rank 62 account for many years, but I was getting bored of that. So if I use a skill 3, inflicts this debuff, all of these debuffs on every single enemy. It's pretty crazy, right? Her skill 3, even though it's only got one skill stock, I wonder how many seconds it takes to get skill 3 back. It's probably a lot. Yeah. Well, I just want to see, yeah, this shield, so you can, what's funny, you can still get this shield buff from using her skill 1, because her skill 1 is healing, so when you use her skill 1, it still gives the shield to whoever gets healed, which is pretty cool. I like that quite a bit. You just spam a skill 1 for healing, it seems pretty effective, even though it doesn't even hit damage cap, it doesn't matter because it's still pretty good. And you use Starlight Heal and it heals 25,000. Great. It is funny seeing the damage caps from Lenius hitting 60,000. Pretty good because of Sera. I do like this. Ideally, you should have been re-rolling in the collab. That's probably what you should have been doing. And try not to get too picky. I do want to use this. Let's just show you what this is like. I haven't seen the animation yet. Well, about what I expected, really, but... yeah, I did want to check the vitality. If I use this... oh, okay. That's interesting. You know what? Let me try something. So, if I just use this, this counts as a time stop heal, right? It stops the time, it heals everyone, she dies, and then I can use this, and now she's got MP back. Yay! I love that. So, that does seem like, you know, it's not bad. Last Ethereum is not bad. I think it's pretty good, because you can do some synergy with using this first and then use the arc skill. That could be pretty fun, and that does seem quite effective. Yeah, it's basically a honey elixir for the entire team. That's what it looks like from the animation. It's pretty cool, and I do like that it does that, because some people were questioning if it would still heal and restore SCT to allies that were not dead, so it does seem like it heals everyone in your team, so that would imply that it gives the SCT and everything to everyone in your team as well, so it seems pretty good. Now, if you haven't seen this yet, let me do this again. Yeah, it's not bad. 70,000, that's pretty great. Either Void for the debuffs, Heal Fender for more SCP, Heal 1 for more healing. I do want to see the damage taken debuff. I haven't seen that yet. I would like to see that proc, because I know you can get the proc in here. 56,000. You know, pretty nice. I mean, I feel like I'm not doing this right because I can't really test support units properly, but... I did want to test out this. So the battle start boost allies HP cap by 5,000. I'll try that one more time then. I just want to see if that stacks with vitality, but I don't think it's gonna. I think it's the same buff, but if not, I love it. So yeah, boost max HP buff. And then if you were to use this, see, that's why I have to question why, like, there's one negative thing I have about this, and I know I'm being very picky, but I have to, let me just back out here for a moment. This is a bit of oversight, or something I didn't think about much. The fact is, well, here's no, wait, hang on a moment. Wait a minute. Battle start boosts all allies HP cap by 5,000 and restore HP. Effect lasts until unit is incapacitated. So, I think the only reason that Giga Vitality Phaser is here is because they lose the buff when they die. So you have no reason to ever use Giga Vitality Phaser ever because the same buff as her trait 2, unless the unit dies. So I think if the ally dies, they'll lose the buff for sure, but that's why she has it. Because if the ally dies, then you can re-give the buff. But if no one ever dies in your team, then this becomes useless because you never need to cast it ever again because it's in a trait 1, trait 2, so I guess it's fine, but I just feel like having Giga Vitality Phaser isn't really necessary in a kit. Could have been like a different Wall 2 effect instead, so I would have liked that better, but I'm not going to nitpick this too much just because she's a broken unit and I'm just pointing it out there that it doesn't stack with a trait 2 and you have literally no reason to ever cast it unless a unit dies, so it doesn't really matter too much. I do want to have a look a bit more about her trait 1, so let's actually go into this battle and try and see when those buffs and debuffs apply. So I believe her damage taken buff is going to apply at the start of the battle to everyone in the whole team. You'll see it right here, cut damage taken. This buff here is going to keep refreshing every so often, and your entire team is going to have that buff, the cut damage taken buff. And then the debuff for the enemy taking dealing 30% less damage for 5 seconds is only going to apply when the enemy can actually do... Let's use this. When the enemy can actually do some damage. So if the boss can hit my face... Hey look! Sera actually died. It's funny. Hey, there it is, wait, stop. Cut skill gauge, fill rate, cut damage dealt. I see it. I see it now. So those debuffs are there right now. Which, you know what? The, that SCT debuff is applying. Obviously it doesn't matter because the debuff itself isn't going to do anything in PvE, but still, it does apply the debuff. It did seem like the damage taken debuff lasted longer or something. There's that one. Wait a minute. So this time, this SCT debuff applied, but the damage dealt debuff did not apply. Only one of the debuffs applied, which is interesting. So only this one applied that time, and not the other one, which is the other one is literally the only one that he wants. This sucks. There's both of them that time. You know, I still think it's pretty good though. Oh, Spirit Riot. I'll just kill it off now. I wonder why they chose fire for this unit, because it could have been light, like the Spirit Maiden is supposed to be light. Not like it makes much difference at all, but still. So, I mean, there isn't really anything else to test, is there? Because that's the unit, right? Great. She is 100% going to be replacing my Spirit Maiden Sera in every single team ever. So I'm looking forward to that. I suppose I can try one more thing, right? Just her trait 2. Currently it's not maxed because I don't have the stupid rainbow clusters. I wish I had rainbow clusters. Should be able to get some in here though. Yes. Thanks for the sub. Honestly, we've been doing pretty well with subs lately. It's kind of surprising. Let's get the trait. We should be able to get the trait right now. There we go. That gives the damage cap maximum effect. Reason why I want to do this is because I want to do this just to see how much damage she can do. Yeah, you don't need, right? That's the thing, you don't need. You never need. But the but about it is, what should I use? Let's use that. The but about it is, Spirit Maiden Sera is still better. So, yes, you probably don't need it if you have every best support in the game already, but it will still benefit your account no matter what. So, even if you already have Renner, it's still going to boost your account by a lot. I want to try this. Quickly. Because you know I like Velvet a lot, I'm going to be seeing how much damage cap she's going to do in this team. This will be fun, I think. I only have level 1 arc skills right now. Imagine needing You Are Stardust, I know, right? I need a lot. So I just want to see what a damage cap looks like now. Even though they've got 50 dark resistance, damn it. Oh god. Yeah. What? That's funny. I like that. That's great. Go to 164. Ah, that's great. I love that. And that's because Sera adding a hell of a lot of damage cap to Velvet. She was adding plus 20,000 damage cap because I got a paid star to Velvet right there. So yes, the arc skills did play, you know, a part in that too, especially the crit. But Spirit Maiden Sera giving Velvet that, you know, plus 8,000 and then another plus 10,000 and then another plus 2,000 damage cap is pretty crazy, and I do like this. It's pretty fun. Obviously, Velvet isn't the best unit ever, but seeing her damage cap be that high, it is pretty funny to me, and I think Spirit Maiden Sera is definitely going to work well with a lot of units, but she works with Velvet's Crow much better because she has that all enemy slayer buff, so I like this team synergy right here. It's very good. But you do have to remember that Spirit Maiden Sera can be used with literally any unit in the game. It doesn't matter what unit it is. Every unit in the game can benefit from Spirit Maiden Sera. It's not just Velvet Crow, it's just Velvet Crow can benefit a lot easier because of her slayer buff. It's pretty fun though. And you can also do stuff like this too. With Lilahar. I'm curious now how much damage cap she would have if I were to do this. I have to know. Because you don't know until you know, you know. So you have to know, you know. I think I'm probably going to use her charisma and I should probably use Absolute Zero just for the damage cap, right? Even though I don't have much. I'm not currently built for it. I just wanted to see what damage cap would be like with Sera in the team, just because why not? Okay, fine. I'll just stick with Galaxy, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. I'm just curious. I could use Lilahar Arc, it would be nice. It's fine. Yeah, I do love units like these. The units that enable, give damage cap, like Sera's gonna be so good. It's not going to be anything crazy, but yeah, wow. Wow. 102,000 per hit. Just casually. It could have been a lot more too, but and you've got to remember that this is a noob account. I'm not even I'm not even a endgame player right now. I can do stuff like this. It's just funny. It's great. Love it. Well, I think I've done as much messing around as I can with this unit currently, but if you can't tell already, Spirit Maiden Sera is definitely ridiculous, and I love it because the thing I like about her the most is definitely the plus 35% damage and plus 20,000 damage cap. That's what I like the most about this unit. I haven't actually tested if she does give the anti-god type Slayer effect yet, which I should probably do, I think. And to figure that out, I would need to just use Lilahar in a different stage. Because I'm pretty sure that Sera also gives a God Slayer effect to your allies, and I just want to confirm it because I haven't tried it myself. And I thought it was, you know, too good to be true. So you know, it feels like a yes to me, considering. That's funny. It's funny. It's funny. Well, yeah, because it's got another, you know, semicolon or whatever it's called. Give physical / magic and special and anti-god type effect. Should be all allies getting god type effect, which is pretty nuts. It's crazy. Well, I think I'll have to leave it there for the moment, but you can definitely do a lot with this unit and use her literally everywhere. Yeah, I do like doing these streams. I'm glad people like these because I spend a lot of... Yeah, well... The thing is that you have to remember about this trait where it gives this buff thing, right? When unit is alive, it gives all these effects. All of these effects don't count as a buff icon, so... Yeah, she's gone. She don't need buffs. She just needs to exist and be alive, and that's it. And then you get guaranteed buffs that stack with everything. It's great, and I know the first form of Sera is does the same thing where it just increases your entire team's damage cap by her just being in the team. But this is like a million times better than that because, you know, you get 35% physical magic and special damage, and the damage cap, and the Slayer for god types. So, yeah, Amelia with that would be pretty fun. That would be nice. But you got to admit that Spirit Maiden Sera can literally work with like any unit ever. Even Barcelo, which I'm not going to do because I don't like Barcelo. But any unit ever can benefit from Spirit Maiden Sera, and that's what makes her so good. Is it doesn't matter who you pair her with, she's gonna work. Even if you put like any monster unit, it's gonna work, right? You can make it work. Yeah, even Lilahar, even Linus, even a mage, even I mean, a counter unit doesn't really get much benefit from this whatsoever. I mean, technically, they get the anti-type damage cap to their counters, but it literally doesn't matter whatsoever. So, I guess you could say that she doesn't really buff Guile or 2P, but I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter. It's fine. because she buffs literally everything else in the game, so can't ask for more than this, right? You physically can't ask for more than what we got. I just still think it's ridiculous that they can just release a unit like this and they know... You know what this tells me? Is that Adis knows how to make a unit this good, right? They know what they're doing. They know exactly how to make a support unit this broken, because they've done it before with Rena and Spirit Maiden Sera. They know what they're doing. They just don't release units like these that often because it's unnecessary. And I'm glad that they don't do it all the time. But certain units, like the normal form of Moana, just seems super underwhelming compared to a unit like Spirit Maiden Sera, you know? Like certain healers that are not that great. Like this form of Prefect of God Moana, even though she's a healer, she's like 1,000,000 times worse than a Spirit Maiden Sera, you know? It's crazy how much of a difference it is, you know? Well, if you manage to get her, that's the biggest win, right? Because she's the best unit in the game by a mile, and I mean it, because she's that good. And I could talk about her all day because she's crazy. And I mean, it doesn't surprise me because she's a Spirit Maiden, and having the Spirit Maiden form of Sera, of course that's going to be the best unit in the game, because Spirit Maidens are always ridiculously overpowered in Last Cloudia, right? Like, they are the sealers of the gods and stuff, so lore-wise, they are stupidly powerful, and of course they're going to be stupidly crazy. So, yeah, I'll leave it there for today, I suppose. My conclusion, you know what I'm going to say? This unit's ridiculous. She's the best unit in the game. Try and get her if you can, because she's going to benefit literally every person's account, no matter who you are. She's going to be useful on your account. Doesn't matter what you have, she's still going to be useful. Even if you have every single unit in the game, she's still going to be useful because she does things that no other unit does. Like increasing your damage cap for your entire team by 20,000 if you have a paid staff. Ridiculous, crazy, and it's not even a buff, so it could just stack with everything else. You know, that's my favourite part of this unit, honestly. But if you have... the biggest question that most people are going to have is, if they already have Rena, then do they need this unit? I know a lot of like newer players probably going to say that, or casuals going to say that, because they got to know if it's worth their crystals. Well, I still think it's worth your crystals to try and get this unit, because she is a bit different than Rena, because she has more, you know, she can buff your damage more, and Rena doesn't do that. Rena just boosts your survivability, and if you only care about survivability and nothing else, then yes, Rena is just as fine, and she's still amazing, still one of the best units in the game. But if you want that added extra damage and damage cap on top, and you know, some other extra things on top as well, then Spirit Maiden Sera is going to be the best option. And I can say that Spirit Maiden Sera is better than Rena, in my opinion. I mean, you can't really complain at all about this unit. If you complain, you're just nitpicking little things, and that's why this unit is so good, because you can't complain about this kit, because this kit, especially these traits, are just way too strong. I love these traits, especially the trait 2 is just very long. It's got a hell of a lot of effects on here, and it's crazy. And you know, even if you have to pity this unit, you got to remember this unit is going to last on your account forever, because you got to remember that a unit like Spirit Maiden Sera, she has been used for many years, and she's been out for many years, and she's still useful, right? So it's the same situation here, where we now have basically a better version of Spirit Maiden Sera, which is now also a Spirit Maiden called Sera, and she's going to last many years, and she's probably even worth getting to plus 30 because she's that good. So you're going to be using her everywhere in your every team. Also, there is one thing that I do want to mention that I think is quite important, and that is that some content requires multiple healers, right? So let's say you have Rena, but she is your only healer available on your account. I still think Spirit Maiden Sera is definitely a must pull for you, because you will need multiple healers on your account, and Spirit Maiden Sera is better. But apart from that, you need multiple healers because you need multiple teams, right? So the raid bosses require 3 different teams, so technically kind of want 3 different healers, right? And there are certain hard boss stages that require 3 different teams as well, and you've also got the maze, so you do have a lot of different contents where it requires more than one team, and in those contents you will need more than one healer. So that is why I think having Rena and Spirit Maiden Sera is going to be nice to have for sure, because you're going to be using both of them 100%. It's not going to replace Rena, it's not going to replace those units, but you can use both because you can have multiple teams in some of those contents. So I think she's definitely still worth summoning for. But if you have every single healer already and Spirit Maiden Sera is the only one that you don't have, I think it's up to you if you want to summon or not, because if you already have every single healer, such as Rena, Spirit Maiden Sera, and the Breath, then you may not need this Sera. But if you care about meta stuff, then yes, you're going to need it, this unit, because she's going to be used everywhere in PvP and also raid bosses now. So I can guarantee that she will be used in raid bosses 100%. So if you care about the meta stuff, definitely try and get her. But if you have every single good healer already, it's not a must pull, but it's high up there, right? And if you don't have any of those healers, definitely a must pull, 100%. It's what I would say for this unit, because she's so crazy. Now, with this arc, it definitely don't need it, right? But I can see it being quite useful for sure in places like raid bosses, because of this arc skill being time stop, allowing you to restore MP, which can allow you to use another honey elixir or something. I think it's going to be quite useful sometimes, and in places like the Tower of Trials, I think this is going to be a nice arc skill to use in those places, and maybe even some boss stages that you end up being in there for a very long time. You know what? That makes me think you could use this in like maybe some monster stages, if it allows you to use an arc skill, so then you can get the MP back, because I know MP is quite important in those. But I still think it's nice. I think it's a nice arc skill. It's not completely broken, but it's definitely useful. And then, you know, learnable skills, great. Arc of Reward, not great, but I definitely think it's a good one. If you manage to get this arc and Sera, you're winning. But don't chase for the arc. The one thing you should be trying to get from this banner is definitely Spirit Maiden Sera, because she's amazing. Best unit in the game, by a mile. I mean, she's going to be above Rena. I think that's going to happen. It's going to happen. Now, she is available for another 28 days, so you do have some time to build up some crystals and decide if you want to pull. But I have to say, any unit coming up is not going to be as good as this. So, what are you waiting for? Just get this unit now, because she's going to be the best unit in the game. So, no reason not to pull, right? I mean, there is a reason, and that reason is there's probably a collab coming up soon and anniversary in April, so do try to save some crystals for those. But I don't blame you if you try and get this unit and spend everything for it, because it's worth it. Trust me. If you don't have Rena, definitely get this unit if you can, because it's worth all your crystals. If you're a newer player, re-rolling for this unit is a good idea, because starting your account off with a Spirit Maiden Sera is just going to make a lot of the content so easy, because her survivability, her healing, all of that stuff is just going to make a lot of the content just ridiculously easy, right? All you need is just any damage dealer and Spirit Maiden Sera, and you can just breeze through every single content in the game almost. But she's still going to carry you through pretty much everything, so it's great. We do still have Moana's banner. I don't recommend to pull on this at all because she's a cool unit, right? I just don't think she's needed. I haven't really seen anyone use her in Arena at all. Haven't seen anyone use her in Guild Battles either. And I think she's good in raid bosses. She was good against the last raid boss, but apart from that, she isn't really necessary anywhere unless you like Moana. It's up to you, but there's zero reason to pull on this banner when we have Spirit Maiden Sera's banner up right now. Literally. That's all the current new banners. And then we obviously have this new UR 10 spin gacha, which I did talk about earlier, and I do think it's a good banner. If you want the new UR arc, then this is the best place to get it, because 10,000 pay crystals guarantee the new UR arc is pretty good. But you do have to remember there's 0 rate up, and you're most likely not going to get anything else from this banner. So, up to you. Only pull this banner if you want the new UR arc, and that's it. The bitter and sweet step gachas are available for another 2 weeks. If you're still considering doing these, I do recommend to do the sweet step up gacha because it is a pretty good gacha for female units and limited units and arcs. I actually did manage to get 2 of the limited arcs that I show you. I got Seaside Drive from that sweet step up gacha, which was pretty cool, and I also managed to get this one, which is pretty cool because Infinity Boost and Infinity Drive HP Plus is pretty nice. So getting any limited arcs from that banner step up gacha is pretty good. Well, I feel like a video isn't super necessary, and talking about an entire tier list might take a long time. Yeah, that's all the current banners. There's not much else going on currently. So, that's pretty much everything today, right? There isn't much in this update apart from the new banner, right? Like, obviously got the new event and the new banner. There isn't much else going on, but the unit is the most exciting thing in this update, 100%, considering she's so crazy and broken as a support unit. We don't get support units in this game that often, so you can tell how valuable that is. I think that's everything for today. This event goes on for another 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks, I don't know what's going to be next. Either a collab or a permanent unit or Descent of Heroes unit or something. I think there's going to be a collab at some point, but I don't really know when. It could be a new one, and that would be fun, because those are always the most exciting, is having a completely new collab, even though it is expensive. So try to have some crystals saved for that if you can, even though Spirit Maiden Sera is the current banner and the best unit in the game currently. Because she's going to be the best unit in the game for a long time, trust me, on that one. If the next unit ends up being better than Spirit Maiden Sera, then you're free to do whatever you like, because you can hate on me whatever you want, because she's not going to get power crept anytime soon. There's no unit coming up that's going to be better than her. I can already guarantee that, 100%. Because support units, they don't get power crept easily, and Sera is not one to get power crept easily. She's going to be ridiculous for forever. So that's gonna be fun. I think I'll leave that there for today. Honestly, it was a longer stream than I was expecting, but it did go pretty well, gotta admit. Being able to get Sera, amazing. Best thing from this collab, from this current banner, definitely Sera. Yeah, I think it's hilarious that people still consider this banner a bait, you know, because you have a unit like this that gets released rarely, right? A unit like this, when do they ever get released? Like, rarely. They hardly ever get released. The last time they had a unit like this was maybe Libreth or Renna, one of those 2 units. It's not a bait. People consider every single banner a bait, right? This isn't a bait. Like, technically, You can consider it a bait if you want, but it's not a bait. It's the best unit banner. What can I say? I think Moana was bait. Yes, Moana was bait, but Spirit Maiden Sera definitely not. Best unit. You can't call this bait because she's too strong, and is gonna be so strong for every unit, every player in this entire game. Because it's crazy, right? Like I can't say how much I mean this. She's crazy. She's gonna definitely boost my account a hell of a lot once I have her fully built. I can't wait for that. She's gonna be in every single one of my teams for pretty much forever now. So that's gonna be fun, but I'm gonna have to build her quite soon. Well, I'm gonna do that today actually. I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm just gonna do that after the stream. So yeah, I'll leave that there for today. I'll be back in 2 weeks for sure for the next banner. I don't know what it's going to be. We're just going to have to wait and see. It could be a collab or just another filler banner, who knows. But don't feel bad if you're spending everything for this unit, because she's worth pulling for 100%. Yeah. Still trying to get over this stupid cold flu thing, but it's almost gone. I've had it for the past week. That's why I couldn't do a video last week. I was going to do a video on the banners, but I couldn't. These 3 banners, I did these 3 banners. These are amazing. If you have the paid crystals, try and do these banners. These are very good. If you don't have many UR arcs, these are amazing. Really good ones. So yeah, I'll leave it there for today. The final conclusion for this stream is Spirit Maiden Sera, best unit in the game by a mile. If you manage to get her, then your account has gone up by 100%, like a million times better, because you'll see what I mean. If you manage to get Sera, this version of Sera, use her out in any team that we'd normally use, and you'll see a big improvement. And I mean it, because she gives a lot of damage cap and some 35% damage and a lot of damage mitigation, so you'll see a massive improvement with her on any of your team whatsoever. So you be the judge, but definitely try and get this unit if you can. I'll leave it there for today. I will add the timestamps in a moment, won't take long, and I will be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully I should be better by then. I would expect so, but I'll leave that there for now. I am still going to be farming this game a hell of a lot. I have been grinding over the past 2 weeks, trying to build up my account a bit more, and I have managed to get some good stuff so far, but I'm still struggling on materials. It's taking a long time to get these materials, so it's kind of painful, but get there eventually. I'm not worried about it. Right, I don't really watch animes or stuff really. I mostly just play games and watch YouTube videos. That's pretty much all I do. So I'll leave it there for today. Thanks everyone for coming, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Make sure to get this unit if you can. I can't say that enough. She's crazy. Bye.